And like I said, I think everybody's trying to figure out what's gonna happen, but at least the 5% shows that they understand the need you have. You know, and hopefully things straighten around and then we can go on from there, so.
That's all I have today. I brought Faya along. She's been plugging away with the CMH program. She had an updated follow-up training with Mindy, who is the CMH case manager out of ODH.
Okay.
And just making sure that we're billing for everything that we can bill for and trying to see what we can do to increase our numbers. And Faya and Kevin will be present at the YMCA. I forget what that's called. Healthy Kids Day. So they are having several agencies there. So we're gonna be there with like a, hand washing demo
Oh, okay.
or like interactive.
And that's it. When is this?
The 11th, I think?
April 11th.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully, by being there and having some flyers up about the CMH, that can kind of spread the word. And we already had all of the supplies for it, so.
Good. So, that sounds good. Anything else?
No?
I appreciate you coming over, so, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for joining today.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Dina.
Yep.
Sandy,
Hi,
how are you doing?
hi.
Morning.
How am I doing? I'm okay. I think, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Hardin thing.
Morning. You know, the funny thing is we understand why nothing ever got done before, because it's easier not to do anything than just to start something.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Fred not here today?
No, he.
Okay. You ready?
All right.
I don't have that much. So they should be starting down here on the trunk line. And, so April sixth is when we got the road closure signs, that'll be, the road will be closed. And it's for 45 days, cause we'll do the bore underneath the railroad track, for the sewer, to bring village pantry sewer out, so that we can abandon the siphon, that one siphon under the river.
Cause that's underneath AEP also, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we gotta bring AEP out and abandon part of their stuff, so. Yeah, that siphon has AEP and village pantry on it, so. But that'll be good, cause I think that's probably some of our I and I had, you know, you think about those old siphons and that run along the river and the seals are wore out, so it's letting, when water comes up, letting water in and it's going to the sewer plant and have to treat it. Should be going out for bid. We just passed the legislation for the sidewalk project, so that should be going out to bid and starting this summer. We just had the first read for the roundabout legislation, so we'll have 2 more reads on that. And then it goes out for bid, and it won't start, I don't think, until August. It has to go out to bid, and then it won't start till August, September timeframe.
So what's they have an idea how long that'll take once they get started?
It's like a 1.5-year project.
Oh, it'll take a while. So
Yeah.
is that gonna,
They're
Detroit
gonna-
will be shut down that entire time?
No, so they'll do the roundabout first in the middle there, and I don't think either street will be shut down. And then they've got a game plan. I can't remember if it's Maine that'll be shut down next, and then Detroit, or I think it's Detroit will be next. And they'll funnel everything down Maine, and then they'll shut down Maine and funnel everything over to Detroit, and you just gotta jog around you'll have to just jog around the roundabout.
Okay.
So I think that's the game plan for that, but that'll be a while. And then, I'm leaving here, the reason I need to come early, I'm leaving here and going to a meeting, about the trunk line down there. We're going to tell them why they have Main Street shut down for this, putting that in. We need to get these sidewalks forward over here. It's been long enough. Street lights are still scheduled for mid-May. So, I asked him yesterday, I said, what percentage of the project do you have done? And he says, oh, we have about 80% of the project done. We're just waiting basically on the street lights to show up. They still have to set the control boxes, but
So what's holding the streetlights?
manufacturer, they don't make them ahead of time, it's all,
That was 2 years ago.
well, they have to approve the
They didn't
design.
start.
Yes, you know how, nothing works quickly, it's not like you can order anything and they say, and we had to go with, because we had the grant money, it's Buy America, Made in America, so.
Sure.
The Made in
Good.
America, so that's good,
It's a
Absolutely.
good year to do it.
that's right, that's right.
So do they, once they physically receive the lights, how long do they think it'll take?
Oh, he said not very long, we just gotta put them together and put them up,
So, okay.
yeah.
Well, awesome.
So we'll just keep you in the loop and hopefully that doesn't get pushed out any farther.
Then the traffic lights, they're gonna be where they're at for a while?
So the only ones we got on order right now are the Main Street ones, cause these come with the roundabout project. ODOT is paying for these
Okay.
two over here with the roundabout project. The ones for Main Street are on order too, and they have a longer lead time. I guess there's only one person that makes traffic lights or makes the mast arms or
Probably.
something.
Uh,
So, and I don't
So-
know the exact delivery on
So
that.
it'd be fair to assume maybe, or not assume, that these streetlights will be a year or two away?
No, the street lights, we'll do both Maine and Detroit on street lights, traffic lights over here.
Traffic.
Yeah, that's why we
I'm
put,
sorry, I said-
yeah,
That's
the,
rural.
that's why we just put the wooden poles back up, because they will come down, but,
Right. Okay, I'm sorry. I
yeah,
quoted-
you're good.
So
We
it's
need to
good.
get the street lights back up, cause it is dark down here.
It's dark.
Absolutely. And I have a favor to ask,
Okay,
manhole out here that dips down,
yeah,
we get patch in there. 'cause I've
yeah,
had people come
well,
out
what does that mean? I'll tell them to get some in there, and the alley behind, your building back there, they need to get some stone back in there so it'll be concreted. If they need to get some stone back in there till they get it concreted.
I've just had people, they hit it pretty good now that you're gonna be. So,
Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
yeah,
Well, sounds like we're doing right along.
4th of July parade, is that still happening?
yeah, as far as I know.
And may change routes?
Probably, they just go down Main Street, don't they, and I think that'd be
Okay.
fine.
So they'll
That should be back
over
over.
here,
Yeah, I haven't, Lynn goes to the Freedom Fest
yeah, okay.
meetings, so I don't know if they're planning on changing the route or moving it, but
Okay.
everything should be back open at that point.
Yeah, I'm just kinda wondering about that parade. During fair time, you know, what,
Shouldn't be anything shut down, so
didn't know if any routes would be different.
I don't think so. I think with that roundabout, like I said, the middle portion, which I would assume would be the most time consuming, Main Street and Detroit Street will still be open.
Is that a big street?
Okay. Sounds good.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
have a wonderful day.
Hey, you
Thanks
too.
for the,
Yep.
Thanks for coming in, Cindy.
Thank you. I am too. Now I can make my other reading. Yes, good. Thank you.
the,
Link,
yeah, but it was that, we had printed it out, it was the Freedom Fighters, Kenton, it had their, so yes. We printed that, we just need to verify with Kelly that it got mailed with the check.
Okay.
Cause I know we fill the form out, but we don't mail it personally, so
Right.
we'll verify.
okay, thank you. County roads doing was double check.
Yeah, cause that was back in February, I'm like, I know we handled that.
Hello.
Good morning, Tim. Ready?
Yep, we're good.
Kind of, you see the stack of paper, so it's gonna be a little busy, but I'll get through it quickly. First of all, Tim, thanks for going to that meeting last Thursday.
Yes.
For the safety, because that keeps us up on the charts for getting our discount at the end of the year on how many attendances we have, so I appreciate that, thank you. And then, just starting off, we've got a few things coming up. I'm going to be assisting the health department with their tabletop exercise. It'll be April 21st, talk to Kevin back and forth, so we will be participating in that. I'm not sure if you have had an invite to that or not. I don't know what it's gonna be about. I think they're kind of keeping it secret, so we don't know if it's gonna be a full, blowing out everybody involved or tabletop with a certain topic, so. I think it'll go good for them, so it's the one they have to have every so often. Kevin's a little excited about it too, so it'll be a good time when we're there trying to figure out, you know, between the health department, EMA, and everybody else, what's happening in the area. And I'd like to thank you too for the assistance with McGuffey, even though they ended up not using our engineers, because they ended up getting one pump in and waiting on another part to come in, so they didn't really need them out there, but it was kind of good, I think, that they gave them a little bit of feedback and was able to say, hey, if you need something, we can help you out, because they were a little stressed and worried, at least the mayor was. I do have, today I've got coming up two things. I got a disaster planning overview, and then I've also got a patient reunification webinar, both coming up here in the next several hours, that I'll be attending and participating in as well. I went to the EMAO spring conference last week, which actually ended up being a pretty good conference from EMAO. That's our side group off the EMA. It's an individual group, and we put on a 2-day education seminar. One of the best things that we had was when National Guard came in and actually did leadership courses with all of us, which broke out and extended our ability to lead large groups. Which was kind of nice, and some of the trusting things that they made us do was a little bit different in our world, to where you could actually be hurt if you didn't follow instructions and everything else, and it was not hurt, but you know, ouch. But it ended up being pretty good. Day 2, we ended up having VOAD come in, and that was excellent. VOAD is our group of volunteers that are from different organizations from all over the state. And not only the state, but outside the state as well. So if we're in need of something, specific things, let's say we've got a large amount of trees down, and we just cannot handle the chainsaw cutting and everything else of all these trees. There's actually a Baptist group, it's called the Chainsaw Men. They come in, large group, and just start chainsawing everything you need chainsaw and moving it to the side. They don't get rid of the debris and stuff for us, but they'll cut them out of the way and everything else. So it was kind of neat learning about the different VOADs, the archdiocese, things like that. They can come in and help us in certain manners if we have a large disaster. And then the one that was really the best one that kind of caught my stomach was the barbecue group. They are a disaster barbecue group. They started out in 23 with only 3 pitmasters that volunteered their time to go around to disaster sites and cook. And it's all sponsored, it's all paid for, no billing to anybody. Since 23, they've grown to 20,000 strong pitmasters nationwide. And when they come in, they will set up a size of a football field, for their footprint on kitchen size. They can serve 80,000 meals a day if they have to. And it's completely paid for by sponsors and everything else, Walmart, things like that, to bring the food in for them, and it's strictly barbecue. And they'll stay there as long as is needed until the public restaurants can open, and then as soon as the public restaurants are able to be reopened or back on their feet functioning, they'll leave, because they don't wanna impact any of the economy that way, but they will stay as long as it's needed, so. It was kinda neat listening to the VOAD groups, even the lawyers came in, which we haven't really put a lot of thought into, that if we're having a large disaster of some sort, there's always gonna be legal punitives and stuff that's gonna come after that disaster happens. Not only issues with suing, things like that, but we're talking more of the issues of people that are lower income that can't afford to be able to get to places to fill out their paperwork for FEMA. And it's much better if you have a lawyer that comes over and they actually send a group of lawyers in that will actually work with your county, in setting up all the stuff that needs to be set up for everybody in your region, which was kinda nice because, a few of us hadn't even heard of where to contact them at, and they're actually located 2 areas, one out of Dayton, one out of Cleveland. And they send a lot of lawyers into your area that strictly deal in that type of process, to helping people in those situations. Now, once again, they are toward the lower income. They're assisting them more than anything else. So anyways, that was the conference. It went well. So we're looking forward to our next one that we put on. Cybersecurity, that's been a hot topic, every week. I did reach out, to our IT, Chris. He sent me the current plan that they have in place. I did review it, it's only like 2 pages long. And to me, it wasn't really a plan, and I'm gonna talk to Chris more about it. It's more of what we do. Even though it was okay at the state level, I sent him what I have, which is a lot more pages, and it's more of a plan that's laid out on, well, if this happens, what do we do? That's what everybody needs to know, because right now, if we do have that happen, people are gonna say, okay, who do we call, what do we do, who's the lead, things like that, when the plan should be spelling that out, for the state, letting them know exactly what we're following, how we're getting it there, and what people are in charge and running the situation during that time. Cause I'm sure you guys would be the ones getting the call right away saying, hey, we've been hacked, this is shut down, we don't know what to do, who to contact. And then the plan itself, it's really not telling us which direction to go, it just gives you a website. And I'm not one that wants to have to read 100 pages to figure out who I need to call first. So I did send him a copy of that to look over. I'm hoping that maybe we'll adapt something a little bit more. That one was, I think you guys signed it, I believe in 25.
Probably.
Was the date on it, but we're good with the state, that's all that matters, is that we're good with the state and the auditor's office. But I would just like to see it a little bit more in depth on explaining what needs to be done. I did, attend a cyber and infrastructure, security agency, thing, was basically based on active shooters. It was talking about the aftermath and how EMA provides services, to the people and to the families, during that time. It was about 3 hours. And they kind of went into the graphics and everything else of everything that would be expected, which I've been through some of that stuff before, so I wasn't too surprised at it, or what's needed, but I did attend it, and it's another check off on the box for this. I did help Marion with their tabletop exercise, it went well, based on a chemical spill, shut down in certain areas, evacuations, and also shelter in place. Actually, I think it was about, 20,000 people shelter in place, and getting the notifications out. So it was a good drill in learning the, how to get the communications out to the public. With that being said, on the EMA side, we had one spill. That was the spill at Trillium Farms, and it technically ended up being an explosion with a spill because of the chemical that was in the barrels that exploded. The actual explosion was caused from dropping a lithium battery flashlight into the corrosive material, which was not reported that we have so far been told. And then over time, that battery broke down enough to that it would actually cause the explosion itself, because those batteries are sealed unless there's a breach in the actual outside of the lithium battery, it shouldn't have any issues. But since it didn't go reported and it was a caustic agent, it just kind of ate through it and finally exposed it and caused an explosion. It did rupture a major water line at the same time, which caused a lot of concern because the hyperflex material that is corrosive was also being flushed into the drains. Upon arrival to the plant itself, they were unable to advise EMA or the EPA of where the flow was actually going. They thought it was going to the actual pond, but then they couldn't explain what the pond did, where the pond water went to. So as EPA took over more of the scene, it also came into stride that really Trilliums isn't under EPA. They are under Department of Agriculture. So they were contacted, they are still completing their investigation. They have also passed it on to one of the food departments now, on how they do their cleanups and everything else. So it's just kind of growing a little bit bigger than what we expected it to, based off of a 55-gallon drum that exploded and caused a little bit of damage to kind of a big deal now. But they got it cleaned up, they had cleanup crews come in and do it, but the questioning was to the plant itself was, you need your plans when you're coming out, and that's gonna be my main message to all my facilities is, you know, if you're evacuating your office, take your plans with you, because we need to know your drains, we need to know where things are going, and able to be able to stop and stop the flow of any chemical going where it's not supposed to go. Because once it gets into the water table, now we're talking community-wide, people's wells, things like that could be in trouble and nobody knowing about it. Fortunately, I think because this chemical was just a regular caustic, being flushed was probably the best thing for it. It's just, we'd like to know where it was going. So I think we're gonna end up taking this drill, or this call that we had, and I've talked to my CERT representative as well with the state, and I think we're gonna be able to use it for our full functioning drill. So that should take one drill off of our schedule over the next 3 years. I've talked to her and she's went over everything. I gotta send my 30-day in with the date and stuff from Trillium Farms, and then we'll gather more information on it, but I'm hoping to know a little bit more with that within the next 2 weeks. So that should take one full drill off if we're able to use that. And she said it sounded pretty good that you'd be able to.
That'd be good.
So yeah, I'd like to see that happen. All right, on the downside, Dave is determined and finalized that he is going to be finished on May 30th. Will be his last day. I talked to him several minutes in reference to it and discussed different plans and different options for him, but he just said it's not in the cards for him right now. So I will be needing to post a position for Abe within probably the next few days. I'll have to get with you guys or with HR and figure out how we're gonna do that posting. If it goes through county or do I do it individually? Since it's an LAPC position being filled under the EMA, just to see how they wanna go about doing it, because I don't know how they hired it in the beginning. So we'll talk to them and see what direction they want.
Board vote?
The board will actually review the, I want them to review anybody that's coming in for the position themselves. However, I would have final say on what position and who's gonna assume that position. I do have 2 different types of, job descriptions. I think I'm gonna go with more of the administrative LAPC assistant, position. That way they're able to fill in and do the other things that are needed as well, within EMA and the LAPC. Because if I post it just the way the LAPC has it, that's strictly the coordinator's position only, and that's really not that position anymore. So I do have that ready to go, just needs to be, HR decides what they wanna do on releasing it. I do have a call coming in today from Mike Fry. He is the one I had talked about a month ago that can do reporting for the LEPC. And what that reporting is the hazardous, work that needs to be done around each of our tier 2 facilities, which we have 18 of them. He goes through and makes a plan for each one of those with the chemicals that are in that facility themselves based on the previous year. So when they report their tier 2, we see exactly what they have. He goes through and actually does a plan and puts it into the state system of the areas that surround each of those facilities as an evacuation distance, population, everything else. That is very time consuming for the EMA and the LEPC to do. He's going to be calling me today with a quote. The estimate that he kind of gave me was about $2,000 a year to do it. And I can be able to claim half of that on the HMEP grant. So I think, you know, if we can get him in here at 2,000 doing those reports every year for us and only paying out $1,000 to having him do those reports, I think it'd be well worth our time to do that. And technically, I do have it in the budget right now to go start without the HMEP grant kicking in until 2027 for that. So I'll let you know more once I get the final quote from him in reference to that.
Your recommendation, and then if you'll cover it in future budgets.
Yes. Yep, that would be my intention. I did get quotes for the vehicle as well. I will give these.
What is the vehicle, Joe, that we have?
Let's say
2012 CRV.
CRV, but yeah, let's, yeah, we'll see what you got.
So, no, these are brand new quotes,
Okay.
for a brand new vehicle, so it's gonna last for many years. At the state pricing, we can go with a Ford Explorer, just like the SO is using, with everything that they have on them, even the idle, so it can sit there and run and not have to worry about running down anything with just idling. We're looking at about $43,000, and that's a state bid, so that's the lowest they can possibly go on a brand new vehicle. Now, like I said, that includes all the packages, basically like the SO has on their vehicles, so those vehicles are made to last for quite a long time. And Tim, I'll just give you this.
Does that mean like light bar and everything?
No, that is not the light bar. I figured we can do the light bar and stuff like we did before, just out of my budget, to have that done at par over in Crawford County, because that's the closest place, and it's the same ones that did the lights on the same one. It wouldn't have a light bar on it, it would be the internal lights, just like the van has now. In the label, and that cost us, I think we paid $3,000 for that, when we had it done last year, 2 years ago. So it should be about the same price, because that stuff really hasn't went up in pricing. And that's through our dealer in Finley that we normally go through with the sheriff's department.
And that's the 150? Ford 150?
What's that?
It's a Ford 150?
No, it's a Ford Explorer.
Explorer.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Before I can make a copy, you guys can keep those.
Okay.
Look at them, cause I have the emails. Let's see, in reference to loss control, we got pounded. As you know, with the historical village and fairgrounds, I think we had 6 or 7 claims.
And they were out yesterday.
So county-wise, we're gonna take probably a hit this year based on the claims that we have, but the worst part of it is we're gonna hammer it tonight. So eyes to the sky for this evening. They are sending about every half an hour, sending us weather reports. They're talking another approximately 2 inches hail size, 70 to 80 mile per hour winds coming through, along with possible tornado flare-ups. We seem to be the hot spot coming through. It seems like it's kicking all the way from the border all the way to Finley.
At about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, anywhere from 5 to 9, and then broke up storms after 9 o'clock. So So 5 to 9 is when we're expecting the storms, and then after that, some.
I better get the flags down tonight.
So, yeah, so I mean, like I said, they're sending it out, and we are at not a high risk, but a moderate risk with a high proclamation of being positive that it's gonna hit us. So I see the sky and we can figure out what's gonna happen after that. With the storms that came through, the county, I wanna say, we were kinda lucky. We did have quite a bit of damage, but when I look at it on my side, I can really only look at house damage. I know we had a lot of barns, a lot of, outbuildings, destroyed. But when the EMA and the state looks at it, we only look at housing damage and the pricing on that is what they make their determinations on if we're able to declare an emergency or not. Now, of course, we could have declared an emergency locally, but that doesn't mean we get state funding, by doing that. If the state declares it, then it opens up the ability for people to get low interest loans to be able to replace things. We have turned in all of our information to them. That's still something that may happen once all the counties report and they see it, it's gotta reach a certain amount before they declare that emergency statewide. So that information's been turned in from the damage that was reported to me and the damage that I seen when we were out looking. But house-wise, we really only had maybe 3 houses that were damaged, and one of them was, in my view, severe damage, but to the state, it wasn't severe damage. Severe damage to the states has to be moved up basically off the foundation or has to have complete destruction of the house to be a severe damage, which we did not have. So that's pretty much, been the gist of it. I have been getting more and more checks in, for the assets, and Tori has the paperwork to make the proclamation for the raises and assets as well for the upcoming year. So as soon as that's, completed and done, I'll send those letters out. When it comes to the LEPC billing, I've also decided that we will, as the EMA, talking with the EPA and talking with CERT, I should be billing something in some type of a response fee. What I have gathered from the EPA, that most of the places are billing what they call a 15% bill on what the total cost is of the incident that I respond to. Also, they recommended that if it's a large spill, the 15% is great. But if it's a small spill, you're still responding, you're still doing all the paperwork and stuff, and they suggested doing a 150 billing out for each one of those, which goes to the insurance company. It doesn't go. 150 would be the minimum, and then if it's a large spill, it's 15% of the total. So that's what they've recommended, so that's what I'm gonna tell LEPC that I'm gonna start doing on top of that, and then that money just goes right back into the LEPC.
Good.
And it's from the insurance company, so I think it'll help out the LEPC and the funding as well.
Good.
Sounds good.
You guys have anything for me?
No.
Been busy.
Yes.
Hopefully tonight we're not busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sun's
I
coming
would
out.
much rather have this stuff during the day.
Yeah.
And with sun coming out, that means it's making it unstable.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that, but yes.
Yeah, that's bad.
It does.
When that, wind come through and hit the fairground, my house moved on Detroit. I could feel it when it hit.
Mhm.
The front come through and luckily I only lost about 3 shingles off the tower, but in 11 years I've been there, I've only felt it move twice. Yesterday, or the other day, it was one time.
They estimated the wind that came through here and hit the same place, it went through Upper Sandusky, was about 80 miles an hour. So, and that's just a downburst, is all that is, straight line winds.
Yeah,
Um,
you could tell, it pushed right on the side of the house.
mhm. Well, the one house I looked at out there, it had a fencing post through the entire wall, that was 4 foot long, just straight through. That was some strong one. One was buried straight into the ground and hadn't been in about 3 foot.
I had a lot of blocking of the house in town, except for the tower. It's above the other houses, and that's where I lost you.
Well, good thing you only lost some.
But it hit about the same time the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all in one cell.
And that's the same, like I said, it traveled pretty much from just north of here, straight through our county, right through, Wyandotte County. starting at our county, of course, and that's, when we're looking at our maps for the weather, that's where it's showing, so they've been pretty much spot on.
I hope they're wrong tonight, but I don't think they're gonna be. So, well,
Well, you'd think we'd be protected because of the winds, but it's not doing much protection for us right now,
Yeah.
so.
yeah. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
I'll give this, Tori, she'll get us a copy. Thank you.
Mike's handing out pretty good already.
Yeah.
Come on south.
It's like 65 out here right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but
Mhm.
tomorrow's gonna be 35, I think.
As it warms up today, that's even more.
Well, we appreciate everything.
Yep.
Yep, thank you. sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you just have OSU next?
Morning,
I
Jamie.
got held up at the office, shocking, I know.
That happens.
Some days. How are you?
Yourself?
You know, we're living the dream. Do we know?
We'll take care of it. Okay,
So I'm like,
all right, thank you.
and I'll ask Richard what's going on, I don't know. They know, I don't know, I know. I'm just telling you, you don't want Jamie dead.
So,
Panic attack of Jamie would not be the best choice. All right, here's this for you guys. Richard doing this pile of fun. Did you get rid of my yellow?
Well, we never had it yet, but
I know. Everybody's like, why do you want yellow? I'm like, cause I'm tired of having a cubby. You see my cubby, it's this big. Yellow brightens the world.
it'll be so much bigger now anyway, so.
Well, there is that. But yes, but now I'm not gonna be on the open where I can talk to everybody. They're putting me back in the corner where I'm stuck all by myself. That's not a good choice for Jamie. You laugh, but you know, you all know it's true. I know, they're already telling me other things. Now we're just waiting on Tim. Okay. Where's Fred?
what's that?
Where's Fred today?
Oh, he's off today.
Lucky him.
Yep,
It's a beautiful day to be off.
it is.
Okay. Cory, here's this for you.
Do you have any extras?
I do, but it really doesn't have much, cause we're gonna not go the commercial route, because I'm doing food safety training right now. And so all the stuff we would have to do code-wise with NSF stuff is not cost effective, or, makes a lot of sense for what we'll actually be doing in the space at this point. Yeah. Alright. Hi all.
Hello.
You ready, Troy? We good? Okay. So, thank you again. The space is coming along really well. You guys are doing an awesome job getting things ready, even though I was the lone holdout and wanted a yellow wall. It's just too much for everybody else to have a yellow wall, so I'll concede to my blue instead. It's fine. No complaints from me. Everybody was like, why do you want that? I'm like, because I need bright and sunny. So anyway, this is an outline. I went through and kind of laid out what I would like the space to look like. The goal would be, because of the meeting room not being attached anymore, the goal would be to have serving carts or things, maybe a lot of these little tables where it says like counter, maybe be on wheels, so that if we needed to wheel things out into the, other spaces, we could do that, or we could take them out to the Friendship Garden if they were having something. Trying to make it multi-purpose. So originally when I came in, I thought it would be really great to do things as much commercial grade as possible. However, I have been driving Marietta for my level 2 ServSafe certification, because you have to do that every 5 years. And to have somebody come in and inspect everything, as far as like, not that things aren't being inspected, but the NSF codes to make it a commercial kitchen, when we're really not utilizing it for that, doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm gonna continue to explore options of where people can do commercial kitchens if they're doing like charcuterie boards, and look around here in Hardin County and work with the health department, so we can tell people where to go. But I don't think that our space is gonna be the best choice for that, even though at the time, I thought it made a lot of sense. But I do still want as many things to be as stainless steel and non-porous and high grade as possible, so that we can keep things sanitized and clean and ready to go when we are doing cooking classes, and if we have an event where we're providing food for people. So if you look at the first page of this fun packet that I've given you, this kind of little line is where the door is, and when you walk in the door, there's already a counter with some drawers under it. That I don't think needs to be moved, and what we'll do is we'll put a microwave and an air fryer and then a TV up there on the wall, so that we can teach from there, and I can put my computer down there, and we kind of like, just the general space. And then maybe a little bulletin board where I can put up my level 2 and any health department sorts of needs that they need. And then, a little shelf for cleaning products that are food safe. Right now, I'm not 100% sure that we always use food safe cleaning supplies, because it's not a stainless steel kitchen and we're just wiping things down with, I mean, we're using stuff that's fine, but it's not, we're using home kind of things, and I would like to up our level a little bit, right? So, and then we'll go into the little pantry, and I just would like shelves in there that are open, not anything with doors. The more things we can be open, the better. And I'll just need hooks in there for aprons. And then going down the back wall, where that spot is for mop buckets, we don't need that to be a mop bucket. If we could just make that a hand washing sink, because we have the janitor's closet with a mop bucket down the hall. So that would be cool. And then I have a dishwasher, a tiny little 3-compartment sink with a sprayer. I didn't know if a garbage disposal was possible, but that would be awesome. If it can't be, that's fine. An ice machine so that we can calibrate food temp stuff, and if we have programming out at the garden, we can take ice out and we can ice bath anything that needs to happen, or fill our water jugs instead of buying ice at the gas station. Counters are just like stainless steel counters. Ovens, I didn't know if we could have 1 or 2. 2 ovens would be great, but I don't know if that will fit. And I didn't know if it was gas or electric.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wasn't either. Either is fine, but yeah. And then, so you can see like in all the little places, if there's space, having little counters would be amazing, right? Just more workspace. And then, how I told you guys that I didn't, like the wall seems so dark, like that kitchen seems long and dark to me. If we are able to put like a little pass-through window, like with a serving ledge, then we could put the coffee up there and the Keurig, and everybody then we would keep all the food and things in one spot, instead of it being in that meeting room where maybe critters can come find us. Cause we all know how well I love those. I don't. So I'm gonna, So if we can put some sort of like space in there, but if it's a load bearing wall and that can't happen, I get it. But in my mind, right, having a little pass through that we could set the food out. The other option would be, if we can't get the hole in the wall, can we put some electric, make sure we have extra plugs down there so that we could just wheel the carts out and then serve along that wall, and keep everything heated up, the roasters and stuff heated up.
In the hallway.
Yeah,
Okay.
like electric in the hallway, if we can't do the pass through. Am I making any sense? I'm kind of rambling. It's been that kind of day. Okay, good.
First thing that comes to mind is blocking a hallway with serving foods.
So ideally, that wouldn't happen, right, but if it would be just when we would have, like it would be up against the wall. I don't know how wide the hallway is with ADA. So we would have to look into that for sure, and it wouldn't be
That
all
would
of
be
the time,
Yeah, the thing you'd have to check,
yeah, it wouldn't be all the time, it would be on the random,
well, it doesn't matter,
I know.
it's just once.
no, I know, but I'm saying, like,
Code wise,
yeah, like, I'm just saying, it wouldn't be sitting out there permanently,
yeah.
but yes, if we can't do that because of ADA, but I don't know how wide the hallway is.
25 feet.
Yeah, it's pretty wide. How big of a pass-through, if it's possible, do you want?
Well, you guys know how much I like light and not things dark, so as big as you can make it
Be as possible.
to be safe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what I did was I went through and I priced things, and then, that were my dreams, and then I put pictures of all of it, just because if it can't be that exact brand, at least we have an idea of what I'm looking at. The biggest expense was the ovens and the refrigerator, obviously, and I priced a gas oven and a regular oven. The first oven that I picked was also a convection oven, which is great when you're doing catering kinds of foods, right? Convection oven gets things cooks it a little bit better, which is nice, so that would be my dream, but obviously if that can't happen, I get it. If I can dream big, it's fine. Gas, dishwasher is very important, just for keeping everything as safe as possible. So obviously we don't need a commercial dishwasher. But if we find one of those at a sale somewhere and a commercial dishwasher is easier, I'm all for that. But just making sure that we can heat sanitize all of this stuff, would be great. Put the air fryer on there. Priced out a washer and dryer. The washer and dryer for the back room just needs to be a stackable unit. It doesn't have to be anything huge.
And these are for your permanent classes.
Yes, yeah, for the life skills. And also just keeping things as much in-house as possible. So if we cook and make a mess with towels or cooking aprons, I can wash them and not haul everything back and forth. But yes, working with ODJFS on all the life skills stuff. I'm finishing up that curriculum right now. But teaching people how to use that would be great. And then again, the other option would be, right, the goal of that for me is that if somebody doesn't have access to the washer and dryer and they're in the parenting class, and while we're having the parenting class, they need to throw a load in. My goodness, come throw your clothes in the laundry if you can't get to the laundry now. Because I've definitely done personal hygiene stuff with people in the past, and the biggest issue has been they didn't have access, they were couch, they were, living on people's couches and didn't have access to a washer and dryer, and so that made it difficult when they had to go meet with people, so. Hand washing sink, just needs a soap dispenser on the wall and a paper towel dispenser and air dryer beside it. The 3 compartment sink does not have to be as big as the one at the fairgrounds, like in the community building, it just needs to be a little teeny tiny one that has 3, so the smallest one we can find. A sprayer, obviously. I thought $160 seemed like a lot for a sprayer, but I don't price these things very often, so I have no idea. I just wanted to make sure it was on the list so we didn't forget it. Ice machine, I found a couple of them, and again, I don't care which one it is, but one of them was, again, price ranges are really funny. One of them was like $230 and one of them was like $1,000. It just needs to be a little ice machine. Counters, again, lots of choices. I just would like them to be stainless steel as much as possible, non-porous surfaces, open, things open that I can spray down. That's what I got. Does that help a little bit? Feel better?
Yeah.
I know I just keep talking about it, but like, again, there's my dream.
I guess for us, now that we have your dream, and we can figure out as far as the opening for the serving, we got dimensions as far as the appliances. Now we can actually see if it all fits.
Right.
That's,
Well, yes, and that's the biggest thing, like, I am not good, obviously, very spatially, but that's why there's also a lot of things with counters, because if we can fit a little cart in there, I'll fit a little cart in there, and if I can't, we don't. You know?
And I think the dimensions will help a lot more, because that way you kind of figure out, okay, this is awesome, but we don't have a space for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So then we can kind of narrow it down to what X, Y, and Z,
Perfect.
you know, if that makes sense.
Yes. I think that the biggest thing is gonna be the fridge and freezer is gonna take up the most print, because I would really, really like, instead of the regular refrigerator that we have, I would really like one with the double doors and a deeper freeze. Because we have found when we have been, there have been a couple of times, now this does not happen very often. There have been a couple of times when there have been, all three of us are trying to use that refrigerator for events that we have and food that we have, and everything doesn't fit, as well as all of our own lunches and all of our things. So if we could have a little bit bigger footprint, wide-wise on the fridge, if we're gonna, that would be the one place that I would say I don't wanna cut corners. Everything else, I'm totally negotiable, but I would really love a larger fridge. Just because those lasagna pans and all of the things don't always fit, you know? And then I tried on the one wall with the ice machine, the dishwasher, hand washing sink. My hope would be that a lot of that could just go under counter, that most of it's under counter things. But I don't know, like how you would stack that up. I'm not allowed to pack the trunk of the car when we go on trips because I don't have that puzzle eye. So, I'm gonna trust that, you're laughing, but it's true, right? You know who's allowed to pack that. So I'm not sure puzzle-wise, you're right, Joe, like, I'm not sure puzzle-wise how everything is gonna fit, but we can definitely, if things don't go along that one wall or they need to get shifted down or somewhere else, I'm totally fine with that, all of that, so.
But like I said, at least this way, Richard and Johnny have the sizes,
Right.
then we can kind of, okay, this looks good here, this maybe not, you know, we can kind of,
Yep,
because you're gonna have to have your electric run and some water lines, this, that, and the other, so we're not doing it twice.
right, exactly, that's the goal, right? Yeah. And then I priced everything at Home Depot, but I'm gonna guess that we have other places that we can look for things. I just went with what was within drivable distance, so.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for Jamie?
Nope. You,
No, that's, we're gonna lay out exactly what we're looking for.
Great, not just me wandering and going, here's an X and this might work. You know.
This is great.
Okay, perfect, and like I said, it does not have to be these brands or these,
you probably won't.
I know, and that's fine, I'm just saying, that was the idea, like, those were the things that I would like to have in them, right? And I'll be honest, my favorite oven was the one that was the gas one, because there's a little griddle for pancakes right there in the middle. So I can make lunch for everybody and we can have pancakes and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll feed you. That is a really cute little oven. I have an electric at home, I don't get the joys of that. I was like, that's really fun, but if we don't have gas, then that's fine. Okay.
Jamie, thank you for getting us around.
Yeah, of course.
We're getting there, so we wanna get it done.
Yeah, I felt bad. Nick's like, you're holding everything up. I'm like, I didn't know I had a deadline. So I apologize that I was late on something I didn't realize I was late on.
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
you're fine.
What?
You're fine.
No, I work to a deadline. Like literally, like if you don't know that about me, my personality is if it's not right in front of me, it's not gonna get done. So I work to the to-do list and the thing. So thank you for the deadline that forced me to put all of my thoughts on paper.
Anytime you need another one, let me know, I'll give you one.
Great, you got it? Just tell me. I work, that's how I work, so. Okay,
Well, thank you.
thank you
very
guys,
much.
yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
I'm excited, the space is looking nice.
Good.
Even if I don't get my yellow paint. You guys are gonna hear that for the next 20 years.
Not me.
Not, oh, that's true.
I mean,
Okay.
I ain't gonna be here when
I'm
you're.
not gonna be on for 20 years, either weekend. I'm too old for that crap. Alright, I gave you this.
Stainless is expensive.
I know.
Stainless is expensive.
I know, I'm like, I already can't,
No, I get it, but
yeah, those
if
are
we're
awesome.
doing cooking classes and all that stuff,
Okay,
it needs to be,
just so you realize that.
no, I see the price tags. But if we don't, we're probably gonna regret it, because then we're gonna have somebody come in and inspect it and say it should have been this,
Yeah, okay.
so. But we'll figure that out, make sure it fits and.
Do we need any hoods or anything?
Well, we're gonna need something that's different than there now. I hate that
Any hoods that we just took out?
we can't put them, I mean, the one's still hanging there, but
Functional.
it's not complete, it's not functional anymore.
Yeah, so I figure that out as far as.
I wish we hadn't done all that, cause it would've been,
Yeah.
we had it,
That is what it is.
so.
No.
Richard,
Knew this.
at the end of the day, if you have a chance, if you could take the flags down,
We're gonna do.
okay. Cause I'm afraid if.
Already discussed that.
They'll be ending up in Finland.
Yeah.
Tori, is that it?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty, guys.
Thanks, Richard.
Yep.